The second one is queuing delay. The third one is transmission delay, and the fourth one is propagation delay. We talked about these chapters, but we missed some slides here. Let me give you an example. Let's suppose that we have a caravan, a 10-car caravan. This caravan wants to pass the highway with a length of 100 kilometers. Okay. At the starting point of this highway, we have a pay tool or tool booth, a gateway. You know that in the first of the gateway, you should in the first gateway you should stop and pay money, for example. Okay. Then the door will be open and you can pass the highway. Okay. And at the end of the other end of highway, there is another pay tool or another gateway. It's not important for us here, but we want to talk about the time that this caravan, these 10 cars, passes this highway. Let's suppose that in the first gateway, each car needs to spend 12 seconds to get service and passing this gateway, entering into the highway. Again, each car needs to spend 12 seconds to pass the first gateway. And then it enters into the highway. The length of highway is 100 kilometers and the speed of cars it is 100 kilometers per hour. So the question is this: how long it will take that this car completely pass the highway? How long until caravan is lined up before the second tool booth? Okay. Firstly, we know that the length of this highway is 100 kilometers and the speed of cars is 100 kilometers per hour. So simply, we can say that, okay, each car needs 1 hour to spend to pass this highway. So the car needs 1 hour or 60 minutes to pass this highway. Also, as we talked, each car spends 12 seconds in the first gateway, and we have 10 cars. So it means that we need 120 seconds. Or 2 minutes. The caravan passed the first gateway, entering into the highway. Okay, we need 2 minutes to pass the caravan from the first gateway to enter it into the highway. We have 60 minutes for passing the highway and 2 minutes to entering the highway. So totally, we need 62 minutes. To pass the caravan completely from this highway. 62 minutes to pass the caravan completely from this highway. Okay. Here, in this example, we can say instead of packet, we say caravan. So the caravan is packet. And instead of bit or byte, we say car. So bit or bytes are car. So when I say that, okay, there is a 10 car caravan, it means I have a packet with, for example, 10 byte length or 10 bit length. I don't know. Bit or byte, it's not matter for me. It doesn't matter. But I can make this analogy. They are similar. And when I say that, okay, each car spends 12 seconds to pass the gateway, it's similar to the transmission delay. And when I said each car spends 1 hour to pass the highway, it's similar to propagation delay. So simply you can find everything here. Transmission delay, packet length, propagation delay. You can see all of them. There is nothing strange in computer networks. Everything in computer networks have some similar ones in our real one or real life. Everything. So they are not strange. Just you need to look for those methods. I promise you can find similar methods in our real life, similar to the ones in computer networks or in communication networks. Okay? Let me make some changes in the example, and let's suppose that the propagation speed of cars increases to 1,000 per kilometer per hour. 1,000 kilometers per hour. In the first example, the propagation speed was 100 kilometers per hour, and now it's 1,000 kilometers per hour. Okay, increase the propagation speed 10 times, and now each car needs to spend 1 minute. In the past, each car spends 12 seconds, and now each car spends 1 minute. Spends 1 minute to pass the gateway, the first gateway. Okay. So the new question is this: when the first car arrived to the second pay tool, which of the cars in the caravan will enter into the highway? Or will car arrive to the second bus before all car services at the first bus? These questions are similar. When the first car arrives to the second pay tool, or when the first car finished the highway, which of the cars in the caravan, which of them enters into the highway? Here we know that the length of highway is 100 kilometers and the propagation speed is 1,000 kilometers per hour. So it means that each car will pass the highway in just 1/10 of hour, or just in 6 minutes. Each car just needs 6 minutes to pass the highway. So when the first car arrives to the exit point of this highway, the seventh car will arrive to the highway. The seventh car will arrive to the highway. What does this example mean? It means that if I increase the speed in networks, we will increase the size of packets, the size of bit and bytes in networks too. That is interesting. That is interesting. You can, for example, also look at this. We increase the propagation speed, and here you can see the time needs to span the first gateway, or the transmission time. The transmission delay is increased too. So as soon as increasing the speeds, all delays will affect it. Okay? Traffic intensity. Until now, we talked about delays. And among the 4 delays, we said that the queuing delay is the most important one because it depends on the length of queue. But how? We don't talk about it. Let's suppose that the arrival rate of packets is A. On average, a packet per second per time unit is arrived to for example, a server, a switch, a router, a packet per second. And each packet has length of L bits. We define traffic intensity as this: L times in A divided by R. R is the transmission rate or the bandwidth of the link in bit per second. What does it mean? It means that when we talk about traffic intensity, we are talking about the ratio between the amount of traffic enters into a server. Server may be a router, a link, a switch, I don't know. Server means a servicing point. It is not a computer server. Okay, it's a servicing point, servicing tool. Traffic intensity means a ratio between the arrival works and the service rate of that server. So again, it means a comparison between the arrival rate and the exit rate of a system. But why traffic intensity is important for us? Look at this chart at the right side. Here you can see that if the traffic intensity is low, the average queue delay is low too. But as soon as the traffic intensity increases, from this point here, you can see the delay increases exponentially. This dashed line is for traffic intensity equals to 1. If the traffic intensity is near to 0, the queuing delay is near to 0. But when it increases to 1, the delay queuing will increases toward the infimum. It will increase exponentially. Let me show a real example in our life. Look at the images on the below of this slide. On the below, you can see two pictures. The first one, the upper one, shows an empty road. So in that road, we can pass the road very easily with maximum speed because there is no obstacle in the road. But the lower image, the lower picture, shows a congested road. There are lots of cars and vehicles in the road. So nobody can, in that road, nobody can goes fast. All of them should goes very slowly. Even maybe if you walk, you can go faster than them. Okay? This is the effect of traffic intensity. The effect of congestion. When a road, when a link, when a network became congested, it means that its traffic intensity rises toward the 1. And so the queuing delay rises exponentially toward the infimum. Hassan Abbas said that, asking how can I solve this problem? Okay, before answering this question, let me talk about something more, and then I will answer you. When I sign a contract with an ISP to receive to get an internet service from an ISP, in the contract we have a special section. It's SLA, or Service Level Agreement. The ISP asks me, okay, what is your requirement? I'm saying, for example, I need a link with minimum 1 megabit per second bandwidth or transmission rate, something like that. They said, okay, they write my requirement in the contract. Below this requirement, there are some other properties, some other metrics. The ISP said, okay, I will guarantee this requirement. I will guarantee your minimum bandwidth like this, the delay like this, the packet loss rate like this. I will guarantee these items. It's part of my contract, my service agreement. Okay. If the links in ISP became congested, I know that the ISP could not service me correctly because the nodes are congested, so I cannot access to 1 megabit per second bandwidth. I cannot I have to spend too many delays, too many times and delays. I should tolerate them. Maybe lots of my packets became dropped during steam time because of congestion and so on. And then the ISP should give me some penalties. All of them are written in the contract. If the ISP couldn't service me, couldn't serve me, he should give me penalty, because I'm paying for that service. It's not free. So if you couldn't serve me, you should pay to me. Okay? So it's very important for an ISP to be aware about the level of congestion, to control it, to be aware about the traffic intensity, because of the queue length, the queuing delays. How it can solve this problem? Firstly, each ISP should be clear about the enter traffic into its network. It should be clear about it. Okay? It should calculate its benefit and pros and cons before accepting a new traffic. You should calculate, okay, if I accept this traffic, what will happen for the rest of traffics? Can I serve them according to their agreements? Can I serve this new one based on this contract? The ISP should answer them. If the answers are yes, they should control the traffic. When I signed the contract, I said that, okay, if for example I'm announcing that I need a 1 megabit per second transmission rate link, a link with 1 megabit per second transmission rate, it means that if I send, for example, it means that I'm not allowed to send, for example, 1.5 megabit per second or 2 megabit per second traffic. I'm not allowed. What will happen? The ISP, firstly, the ISP will charge me. He asks me more money because I'm violating the contract. They charge me, and after a while, he dropped my packets because he knows that if I continue this way, continuing sending more traffic rather than my contract, the ISP should pay penalty to the rest of users. So you have to control it. And there are other control mechanisms to handle this problem. Hassan Abbas asked me, traffic intensity happened in the simple and easy way or not? Traffic intensity will happen when I'm sending more packets, more than I predict. I'm predicting something in my mind. I'm an ISP. I'm predicting that, okay, the user will transfer, for example, 10 megabit per second traffic. This is my prediction. But at this time, the users send more traffic. For example, 15 megabit per second. Okay? What will happen? Nothing. The traffic intensity will rise and my link becomes congested. As soon as you increase the arrival rate into the server, it would be congested and the delays will rise. It's strict. They have a direct relation. More arrival rate, more congestion, and more delays. Okay. I finished these 3 slides. I apologize again. Is there any question from chapter 1? I will send, okay, if you have a question, ask me. I will send you, I'll give you an example to show you how we can calculate the queue delays in computer networks. I will give you a good example, a complete example to calculate those delays that I talk about them. Hassan Abbas, if you have a question, ask me. I will talk about the exam in the future. Don't think about it. All the questions are multiple choices. Same as my previous questions in data mining exam. In data mining exam, just I asked the student some multiple question multiple choice questions. Let me don't talk about these items. Don't worry. I will announce all of them. Just read the chapter 1 completely. Read the final questions, read the book, read the slides, and ask me if you have a question. Okay. Okay. Chapter 4. I decided to talk about chapter 4. This chapter is about network layer. Okay? But why? Let me look on these goals in this chapter. In this chapter, we talk about some basic principles behind the network layer, its services and its main protocols. We will talk about its service models, forwarding versus routing, how a router works, addressing, generalized forwarding, and internet architecture. And also we talked about IP protocols, NAT, and something like that. Okay. Maybe someone says that, okay, what is the difference between, for example, the network layer and transport layer or data link layer? Why I passed, for example, chapter 2 and chapter 3, and but I don't pass chapter 4 and even chapter 5. Why? What is interesting in network layer that I want to spend uh, too many sessions to talk about this layer? What is new? Um, Let me answer in this way. If I look on the network layer, I can try